Let me ask you a question, and I want you to be brutally honest with yourself. Have you ever walked away from a conversation with a man feeling smaller, confused, like you just ran a marathon you didn't sign up for? For more than a decade, I've dedicated my life to decoding the hidden patterns in human connection and psychology. And I can tell you that there are 5 specific sentences that act as a universal key to a man's true character. When you hear one of these, it's not a warning sign. It's the final exam, and he's just given you the answer key. These aren't just phrases. They are carefully calibrated psychological tools. And once I show you how they work, you will never be able to unsee them. Please listen closely to the very end, because the 5th one is a masterpiece of covert manipulation that almost every single woman overlooks, and recognizing it is the single most powerful act of self-preservation you can perform this year. Before we get to the 5 phrases, you have to grasp a core truth that will rewire how you approach every male interaction. Most women are taught to operate an internal translator. A man says something questionable, and our translator immediately softens it, finds excuses, and reinterprets it as something more palatable. We're conditioned to search for his potential, not to see his reality. This conditioning is so profound it has silenced our most primal and powerful defense mechanism, our intuition. And the men who use these phrases, let's call them what they are: emotional architects of confusion. They use language to probe your defenses, find the cracks in your self-worth, and slowly redesign your reality to suit their own needs. There's a fundamental principle in psychology that states our words are a direct printout of our internal operating system. When a man speaks, he's not just sharing thoughts, he's revealing his core programming, his emotional maturity, and his capacity for genuine respect. That's why some interactions feel like a system crash for your soul, leaving you drained and second guessing yourself. Your intuition is reading the malicious code, but your conscious mind is still trying to run the program. What I'm giving you today isn't just dating advice. It's a diagnostic tool that will safeguard your entire life, because the partner you choose is the co-author of your future. He will influence your ambition, your mental peace, your financial stability, and your physical health. A bad choice is a slow, acting poison that takes years to detox from. But learning to identify and immediately disconnect from the wrong choice, that creates the vacuum that nature abhors, and something truly magnificent will rush in to fill it. The first phrase, the one that should be an immediate deal breaker, is "You're thinking too much," or its cousins, "You're overanalyzing," or "Just let it go." This is the ultimate tool of emotional invalidation. Its purpose is to make you believe that your intellect and intuition are liabilities. When a man tells you that you're thinking too much, he's not making an observation about your cognitive process. He is telling you that your clarity is inconvenient for him. Here's the psychological truth. He is testing to see if you will trade your own perception for his comfort. He is checking if you will dim your own light so he doesn't have to squint. A man who is genuinely invested in you doesn't fear your thoughts. He's fascinated by them. He wants the roadmap to your mind. He asks clarifying questions. He wants to understand how you connect the dots, even if his picture looks different. When a man treats your mind as a problem to be solved, he's telling you he prefers a dumber, less aware version of you. The most dangerous part is how this plants a seed of self-censorship. You start to hold back your insights, second guess your conclusions, and apologize for your own intelligence. This is precisely what an emotional architect wants. A partner disconnected from her own powerful mind, because a woman who doesn't trust her own thinking is a woman he can control. Women who endure this often spend years trying to reconnect with their own inner sage, having been taught that their wisdom was a flaw. This is not a communication issue. It is an act of intellectual suppression. The second phrase that should have you heading for the exit is, "I'm just being brutally honest," used as a shield after a comment designed to wound you. This phrase is a wolf in sheep's clothing, a calculated attempt to make cruelty sound like a noble act of truth-telling. When someone uses honesty as a justification for being unkind, they are not being honest. They are being hostile and then trying to make you feel defective for getting hurt. True honesty is a scalpel used with precision and care to heal. This version of honesty is a hammer used to demolish. It comes from a place of genuine concern for the other person's growth. It's delivered with empathy. When a man says something deliberately demeaning about your dreams, your appearance, or your family, and then claims the virtue of brutal honesty, he's showing you that he lacks basic compassion, or worse, that he enjoys the feeling of power that comes from putting you down. I've seen this tactic systematically dismantle a woman's confidence. He criticizes, you flinch, and he responds with, "What? I'm just telling you the truth." This creates a twisted reality where you start to believe that love includes absorbing emotional blows and that asking for basic kindness is a sign of weakness. The truth is, a man who loves you is your biggest fan. He wants to see you win. Yes, hard truths are sometimes necessary, but their purpose is always to build the relationship up, never to tear the individual down. When someone consistently uses honesty as an excuse for aggression, they are revealing that they are more committed to their right to be callous than to your well-being. This is particularly toxic because we are taught to value realness. But I need you to understand that honesty without compassion is just brutality. You are allowed to demand both. The third phrase that is a 5-alarm fire is when he says, "You're so demanding," or "You're just trying to control me," whenever you state a perfectly reasonable need or boundary. This is a classic deflection tactic designed to reframe your healthy self-advocacy as a grab for power. It's a way to train you to stop asking for anything. Let's be perfectly clear, boundaries are not control. Boundaries are not ultimatums. Boundaries are the user manual you provide for your own heart. They are instructions on how to make you feel safe and cherished. When you say, "I'd love it if you'd let me know when you're running late," or "It hurts my feelings when you joke about that," or "I need to feel like a priority, not an option," you are not being a dictator. You are being a good communicator. A man who retorts by calling you controlling or demanding is telling you something fundamental about himself. He believes his own convenience is more important than your emotional safety. He sees your needs not as vital information on how to love you, but as annoying obstacles to his freedom. This is not a partnership. This is a slow and steady process of self-erasure, where you learn to shrink your needs and silence your desires to avoid being labeled difficult. The tragedy is that women in this dynamic often start to take pride in being low maintenance, not realizing they are simply abandoning their own standards to keep a man who has none. Here is what you must burn into your mind. A man who is capable of real love wants to know your boundaries. He sees them not as prison walls, but as the blueprints for building a safe and beautiful home with you. The men who shame you for having boundaries are the very men who will exploit you for not having them. They want full access to your world without any of the responsibility. The fourth phrase is one of the most common and emotionally draining. "I don't believe in labels," or "I'm not looking for anything serious," while his actions create the exact experience of a serious relationship. He is your de facto boyfriend. He gets your late night calls, your weekend time, your emotional support, your physical intimacy. He gets all the perks of the subscription while loudly proclaiming he's not a subscriber. This is not him being honest. This is him being strategic. It's a loophole that allows him to have all the benefits of your commitment without any of the responsibility. He gets to enjoy your loyalty and affection while keeping his exit door wide open. And if you ever get tired of the arrangement, he can say, "I was honest with you from the start." It places you in a psychological checkmate. You stay, and you silently agree that you're not worthy of a real commitment. You ask for more, and you're the one breaking the rules, he said. You leave, and you're haunted by the fear of walking away from something that feels so real. But here is the stark truth. When a man truly wants you, there is no ambiguity. There is no confusion. There is no, let's just see what happens. Purposeful men move with purpose. Men who hold you in this situationship are not confused. They know exactly what they want to keep you on the hook without having to land the fish. This dynamic is a slow erosion of self-worth. You start to believe that commitment is something you must earn by being patient enough, cool enough, and undemanding enough. You start to see his eventual choosing of you as a prize to be won, not a mutual decision to be made. The cruelest part is that these men often do care for you. They like you. They may even love you in their own way. But they love their freedom more. They love their options more. And they are willing to sacrifice your peace of mind to protect their own flexibility. And now we arrive at the fifth and most psychologically damaging phrase of all. It is so subtle, it often bypasses our logical defenses and strikes directly at our soul. The phrase is, "You used to be more fun," or any variation that implies your growth is a negative development. "You've changed," he'll say, with a tone of disappointment, as if you've somehow betrayed him by evolving. This phrase is a weapon of spiritual assassination. It is designed to make you feel guilty for your own becoming, to coax you back into a smaller, more convenient version of yourself. When a man criticizes you for changing, he is admitting that he didn't fall in love with you. He fell in love with your utility to him. Here's what's actually happening. You are setting stronger boundaries, finding your voice, getting healthier, or becoming more dedicated to your purpose. And instead of cheering you on, he feels threatened. Your expansion makes his world feel smaller. Your light is now casting a shadow on his own insecurities. This is devastating because it attacks your fundamental human right to evolve. It creates an internal conflict where you are forced to choose between your own growth and his approval. You start to question if becoming more yourself is worth losing him. You wonder if you should just go back to being the cool girl who was easier to manage. I have seen women shelve their ambitions, quiet their voices, and abandon their healing journey because a man made them feel that their evolution was an inconvenience. They stop going to that class because he misses having them around. They stop speaking up because he preferred when they were more agreeable. But I need you to hear this loud and clear. A man who truly loves you is not a curator trying to preserve you in a museum. He is a co-adventurer, thrilled by the new lands you are discovering within yourself. A man who criticizes your growth is telling you that his love is conditional upon you remaining stagnant. This is not love, it is ownership. He wants to possess you, not partner with you. The most heartbreaking outcome is when a woman internalizes this criticism. She feels guilty for her own progress. She apologizes for taking up more space, for becoming more whole. She starts to see her own journey of self-actualization as an act of selfishness, rather than the most natural and beautiful thing in the world. Now that you have these 5 keys, you might be feeling a whirlwind of things: recognition, anger, vindication, grief. Whatever is coming up, let it. It's all valid. But please, don't let this knowledge make you hard. Let it make you wise. This is not about becoming suspicious of all men. It's about becoming a connoisseur of character. It's about learning to trust that initial ping from your intuition when a man's words and his energy don't match. The truth is, there are incredible men out there who would never dream of using these phrases. Men who see your sensitivity as a superpower. Men who know that real honesty requires profound kindness. Men who celebrate your boundaries because they know it's how you build trust. Men who commit with a resounding hell yes because they know your worth. Men who will look at your growth with awe and say, "Look at you go. I'm so damn proud to be by your side." These men are real, but you will never find them if your time and energy are occupied trying to decode the mixed signals of men who don't value you. You will never be available for them if you are settling for a love that requires you to shrink. Here's my challenge to you. Start listening with your whole body. After you interact with a man, do a simple energetic check-in. Do you feel expansive or constricted? Do you feel more yourself or less yourself? Do you feel inspired or depleted? Your nervous system is the most honest truth teller you have. It doesn't lie. Stop making excuses for behavior that makes you feel bad. Stop being a detective in your own relationship, trying to piece together clues to figure out if you're actually cared for. If you have to look for evidence that someone values you, they don't. Most importantly, understand that walking away from someone who diminishes you is not an act of giving up. It is an act of radical self-respect. It's you declaring that you are making space for a love that fits the person you are becoming. Every second you spend trying to teach someone your worth is a second you are unavailable to someone who already gets it. The right person for you will not require a presentation, a negotiation, or a probation period. The right person will see you, recognize you, and choose you. I want to leave you with a thought that fundamentally shifted my own life. Your boundaries are not a fortress to keep people out. They are a filter to let the right people in. When you communicate your needs clearly and lovingly, you are not being difficult. You are creating the conditions for true intimacy to thrive. The people who are bothered by your boundaries are the very people your boundaries were designed to protect you from. The people who respect your boundaries, who are grateful for the clarity, who adjust their behavior to honor you. Those are your people. That is the foundation of a love where both people can flourish. Every time you honor your intuition, you strengthen it. Every time you walk away from a dynamic that belittles you, you are casting a vote for your own value that echoes into every corner of your life. Every time you choose your own peace over someone else's comfort, you build the muscle of self-love. This isn't about being cold or unloving. It's about becoming fiercely intentional about who gets the sacred gift of your time, your energy, and your heart. It's about understanding your love is a treasure, not a handout for anyone who is vaguely interested. And here is the final non-negotiable truth. Your job is not to be a rehab center for men with character flaws. Your job is not to be a teacher for men who refuse to learn the basics of kindness and respect. Your job is not to be so endlessly patient and understanding that you completely lose yourself. Your purpose is not to love someone so hard they are forced to become a better person. Your purpose is to become the fullest, most authentic, most vibrant expression of you. The love you are seeking is also seeking you. But it can only find you when you are standing fully in your own truth, not contorting yourself into a shape that is more convenient for someone else. So, the next time you hear one of these 5 phrases, I want you to hear my voice. I want you to take a breath, honor what you know deep down, and make a choice that aligns with your highest self. Because you deserve a love that feels like an expansion, not a cage. You deserve a love that champions your evolution, not mourns your past. You deserve a love that cherishes your depth as a gift, not treats it as a chore. Walk away from anyone who makes you feel like you are hard to love. Walk toward those who make loving you feel like the most natural thing in the world. Your future self is begging you to have the courage to choose her. Even when it's terrifying, even when it's painful, the right love will not require the sacrifice of you. The right love will feel like coming home. Trust that, choose that, and please never settle for anything less.